It's hurt because I know people don't care about these kids like I do. And they should be the ones leaving, not me. Because I don't want to. I took $2,400 out of my pocket and still gave it to the host to host these young men. Shit, at this point, I'd do it for free. Because I have been for the last 3 weeks. Motherfuckers! Yeah, I curse. And y'all done heard curse words before. And they got parents in here. And no, I don't want to leave. I ain't withdrawing my name. I got the receipts. They got all kinds of stuff going on around here. Hoarding these buildings with nothing but trash in them. You understand me? And Dion was right. And I know I'm right. And they got some people in here who be snitching to their ass. And I work amongst Judas as Jesus walked with him. Some evil people, man, that don't care about your kids. And if somebody gave me a job, they all could come. Probably won't happen. Reggie Thea's ass want me to do. He the one. And whoever else with him. You can't be an AD and a head coach. It's impossible. I worked at the University of Miami for 3 years and I saw it. I'm sacrificing my own money for these young men. They didn't do their research. They thought they was getting, lack of better words, a dumb jock.
I know it's tough. I know you don't want to hear it. But sometimes in life, we got to walk away.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the Rocket City Network. Today, we are going to be following up with the whole Ed Reed situation with Bethune-Cookman, right? So recently, Ed Reed, he had a press conference, and basically he was giving another rant about his whole situation at Bethune-Cookman. I saw the video. Courtney did as well. Courtney, what did you think about the video?
I think the video, again, sometimes, man, when we're airing out grievances, we have to be careful on how we go about doing that approach. Like, I understand, and I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm just saying sometimes we got to be careful in how we do things, because the first video is why we're here to the second video. Yeah. So, you know, of course, background, Ed Reed you sent me the first video where he was on a golf cart, and it seemed like he was on their campus, and he was upset because some people had gotten at him in the comments regarding his comments about it was trash, and he was out there, he's not even under contract, and he was his office wasn't clean. Mm-hmm. I understand that. I agree with that part with him. Like, if you hire me to do a job and I come to start my new job early and my office is a wreck, I understand that completely. But where I disagree with him is the way he did it. Now, that's not to say that HBCUs are not above reproach. Like,
of course,
HBCUs deserve criticism, and rightfully so, when they are not, when parents are sending their children to these schools and facilities and other areas are not up to standard, so to speak. I understand that, but I feel like there's better ways to go about doing that. The second video, which he did, we watched where he was behind a podium, and it was like it was kind of more the same, but I think it was more controlled because of the environment. He had players there, mm-hmm, and this and that. But like you said last night, he was kind of all over the place with it. He wasn't really centered or circled or hitting his bullet point. It was more about what they did to him. And that's fine. But mm-hmm, you also got to look at it from their angle. Like, no, you weren't under contract, mm-hmm, but the way you're airing out your issues with them, it wasn't a good look on either side. Ed Reed has to take some responsibility, and Bethune-Cookman has to take some responsibility. I think it could have been worked out in the end, mm-hmm, but I just think Ed Reed jumped the gun a little bit, and so his feelings are hurt. His ego took a shot. I think it could have worked at the end, but I also think sometimes we don't look at the consequence when we're in that moment. We don't recognize the consequences or the backlash that we're going to receive from that. And I guess he thought what he did, he was bringing light to a situation, but he also was bringing a lot of criticism, which is fair. But I think sometimes, man, we just got to do stuff behind closed doors as Black people. Sometimes we don't want to air out all our business. I get it. He did what he did. It's over with, and so
Yeah.
now we gotta just move on.
Yeah, he pretty much got fired on his day off. but the most disappointing comment that he made
Right.
when he said that it ain't me. I know I wasn't wrong. I didn't care what nobody said. I still don't.
Right.
So again, he's not even taking any kind of responsibility of any wrongdoing. And
Right.
that's what I find problematic. You know,
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people always say that we should never tear down another Black person.
Right.
But what do they have to say about those who tear down a whole institution? That's what I want to know. And you know, I'm not trying to be crass, right? Ed Reed said a number of things in this tirade that was caught on Instagram Live, and then also the follow-up one that he just released yesterday, right? So he said something along the lines of, I've spent money out my own pocket for these kids, right? So we all know if you're in any kind of education capacity, you're typically going to have to spend money outside of your paycheck, right? So it is commendable that he did that, but again, he didn't have a contract. And why are you trying to make yourself even? It's very narcissistic, if you ask me. You know, I know a lot of folks don't agree with my position, and that's cool. But my thing is this, right? He spent a lot of energy talking about Bethune-Cookman, right? A lot of energy, right? We all know Bethune-Cookman has had some issues in the last 5 years dealing with misappropriation of funds, accreditations, you know, coming up short in some instances. So they're trying to clean house, right? So if he had done research, you know, which he didn't do, he would know, hey, this is a delicate situation that I'm going into. So let me go ahead and any kind of grievances that I have, I'm going to talk to the administration about it, right? He's so worried about that damn football team that he doesn't realize that Bethune-Cookman, they have other students that go to that school, right? So you going on a tirade, you're a high profile NFL player coming to Bethune-Cookman to coach football, high profile. You upload your video to social media, right? A rant, cursing, talking crazy, right? Don't you think that that's going to have a negative effect on Bethune-Cookman's recruiting process of all students, not just athletes, you know? So, but the mere fact that he's not taking any kind of responsibility. Here you have a guy, NFL superstar, NFL Hall of Famer, probably one of the best at his position, right? When he misses a tackle, what does he say? Oh man, that's my bad. You know, I'm gonna get him the next time. You know, if he misses a play call, my bad. I'm gonna get him the next time, right? If a receiver catches a touchdown over him, he probably says, you know what, y'all, that's my bad. Even though that might not have been his main focus as far as who he had to defend on the defensive side, right? He still took responsibility. Fast forward 20 years later, he's not taking any kind of responsibility, right? So you, Mr. Reed, you will take responsibility on a damn football field, but in real life, you don't want to take any kind of accountability, no responsibility. You know, he also talked about how he was upset that the university withdrew his name without him knowing, and that he would never withdraw his name under his own accord, right? Well, when you uploaded that video, Mr. Reed, you withdrew your own name. You did it yourself. You know, I say a lot of times that people don't realize that social media, you know, is out there, and a lot of times people fail to realize that they trip their own selves up, right? They become their own worst enemy, and in that moment, Ed Reed was his own worst enemy. even in the video, right, he acknowledged that he probably won't get a job. But then he also acknowledged, hey, Deion, you my brother. And then Deion came on the live and said, hey, man, I support you. Boom, 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 right? And Deion is my guy. If anybody knows me, they know Deion is my guy. If Deion is your brother, right, and he supports you, he should give you a position, coaching job at the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen? I don't think so. Because
listen.
Hey, look, because at this moment, he's on fire. You don't want to touch that. You don't want to be associated with that. Granted, like you've said, Bethune-Cookman has some issues that they need to clean up, right? But you look at the University of Miami, right? When he was there was an investigation going on about student athletes getting paid under the table.
Yep.
And that investigation would have rocked the University of Miami. It really should have gave them the death penalty, because the findings were evident that while he was there was some misdoings, right?
Yeah.
He also talked about how he spent 3 years at the University of Miami, right? He understood that you can't be an AD and a head coach at the same time, right? So those 3 years he was there at the University of Miami, you mean to tell me that you couldn't secure your own position? You done brought millions of dollars to the school. You couldn't secure a special teams position, So Bethune-Cookman, they might not be that crazy for not moving forward with him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm like, again, I'm torn. Like, I disagree with what he did. I definitely disagree with the university for not having things in order before he arrived there. And maybe they didn't know he arrived there. He just showed up and started doing stuff. Maybe he didn't reach out to anyone and say he was going there. But I just think at the end of the day, sometimes, we just got to live with the consequences. Like, when we do stuff, like you said, he went on social media, and I'm assuming that the live was positive until he went left. And there are people who are alumni of Bethune-Cookman who are not gonna take kindly to those words that you're saying about their alma mater, right? Exactly. And so, while I get what he did about whatever, but you gotta sometimes realize that it's always a different alternative you could do. Again, I think we've hit on it before. You could have reached out privately to the AD, to the chancellor, to the president, to whomever it is who could get things rolling on that end. You took it upon yourself to go on live, and then you got the cursing and saying all this, and you were going back and forth with people. And so because of that, Bethune-Cookman, which was well within their rights to say, hey, thank you, but no thank you. Like, you can't get mad, right? You can't get mad at Bethune-Cookman, because at the end of the day, they're going to look out for them and their university and their image, no matter how much the outside world may look at them and say whatever about this university, whatever opinions that they may have. The bottom line is that they're going to protect their name before they protect Ed Reed's name. And so, again, companies have the right to offer you jobs, to take jobs, and fire jobs based on your performance and your actions. And he hadn't had a chance to perform. This was just solely based off an action that he did. And they said, thank you, no thank you, sir. And they moved on. Now, Ed Reed has not moved on. He did one video. He did a response video. Brother, don't come out with a third video, please. Take this wound, take this L, as we like to say. And for me, I think there are other coaching opportunities for him down the line. I'm pretty sure he would get another chance. But right now, like you said, he's hot. This situation is still hot. So, bro, you made your piece last night. You had Deion Sanders come on there. You know he's in your corner. And so just take this, because no matter how old we are, life still teaches us lessons. And so this is a lesson that Ed Reed has learned. And hopefully if this opportunity comes again, he will be more mindful of how he approaches things. If something is not right, don't go to we make the mistake so many times. Instead of handling it in-house, we run right to social media.
Yeah.
And when we run right to social media, the world sees it. It is our words and it's coming out of our mouth, and we can't deny it at all.
Yeah. And the thing too is he was so stuck on people being mad at his curse words, right?
Right.
This is how I feel that this is why I feel he's so narcissistic. Because he, again, we all have heard curse words, right? Cursing is nothing new, right?
Right.
Dude, they don't have a problem with you cursing at them. They have a problem with what you said outside of curse words. You know what I'm saying? Take off the meat, spit out the bone, right?
Yeah.
It's the context of how you said it as well.
Correct.
Right? So will he get another coaching opportunity at HBCU? He has a good shot at it if he can prove himself, but he hasn't had any coaching experience that I know of on a high school level. Has he been a defensive coordinator or anything to your knowledge?
I haven't heard anything regarding that. So
yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah. So like I said, Ed Reed, right? If you have such a problem with Bethune-Cookman, try your alma mater. And for all the commenters out there, right? There's always people on the fence, right? They're always ready for you to mess up, right? So there was a group of people who were ready for this to happen, right?
Right.
They have such a disdain for HBCUs.
Right.
The minute something small happens, they're going to hone in on it and attack it, right?
Facts. Yeah.
And that's what happened with social media. A lot of folks who, they might just, like I said, have a disdain for HBCUs. They probably had a rough experience at one. They probably know people who might have talked down to them. They're ready to jump on this.
Yeah.
They're ready to say, see, I told you HBCUs, right?
Yeah.
And like I said before, they make it like HBCU administrators are only ones who have sticky fingers, right?
Listen.
Where were they at when all these PWIs were going through their mishaps, sexual deviancy amongst the coaches? Where were they at? Where were they at? They're still flying Ohio State flags. They are still flying Penn State flags.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Stuff happened out in USC.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So, but when it happens to an HBCU, they're quick to jump on it as though they're trying to justify their reason for not liking or agreeing with how HBCUs are ran.
Of course, and it's been that way. I mean, it's just been that way. It's so funny, man, how the reasoning why HBCUs were started, right? And let's fast forward today. Back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, definitely the 70s, HBCUs were popping. It was the talent level was so much better than these PWIs. Yeah. And so when integration happened, of course, we know the top players went predominantly white schools, whatever. And HBCUs started to decline ever since then. So we got to understand, man, that anytime, again, because we talked about it the last time, we have to toe the line differently than our counterparts.
We have to be perfect.
We have to be perfect. So when you get an opportunity to go to a HBCU as a coach, as a student, you get hired as the president or you got to be on your job, right? You got to handle your business. And unfortunately, we've had individuals who've come through our HBCUs, and unfortunately, they have done more damage than good.
Yes.
Yes. And so we know that. So it's up to us or the people who for HBCUs, do your proper vetting. before you bring these people along. Like, just don't take a person's words. You got to see, okay, what did you do at your last position that I can take from that you're gonna bring that same work ethic and skill set to this to make us to make HBCUs, to show us in a positive light. And I'm not saying individuals haven't done that, because there are some great HBCU presidents and chancellors out there. But we got to do a better job of promoting our schools. And when we have individuals like an Ed Reed or a Deion Sanders come and say, hey, I want to be a part of this, let's both sides figure out a way to keep the spotlight on us. Because even when Deion left, man, just think about it. Jackson State, 3 years of successful football.
Yeah.
He leaves, all of a sudden it comes out about how they weren't paying him and da-da-da-da-da. So you had 3 glorious years, and then he decides to leave, which is his right, whatever. He decides to leave, then y'all try to, both sides started airing out dirty laundry.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's emotional. Everything can't be driven off emotions.
It can.
It's business. It's business, right?
It's business.
It shouldn't be personal, right?
So
this right here, it might have been a step forward Bethune-Cookman to clean house and to properly vet somebody as an Ed Reed. Like, hey man, we don't want you on our team if we know that the minute something doesn't go your way, right, you're gonna run to social media.
Right.
So that lets me know that there might be ulterior motives for him in general, but like I said, he was always saying that, I respect you, Deion, and I done told you. So it's like, dang, were you sitting down to Bethune-Cookman to be an agent? So that lets me know that you're being disingenuous, right?
Right.
So I believe that Bethune-Cookman did the right thing, and I'll stand by what I've said for the past 2 videos.
Right.
If anybody has anything to say to me or wants to challenge my position, wants to try to deconstruct what I've said, feel free to come on the panel. Feel free. As always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we are out.